Given a presentation in English? How do you feel when you give a presentation in English? What do you have to take into account when you give a presentation in English? Probably you have given a presentation for your school, for your classmates, for your teachers, and probably you feel stressed, surprised, confused. But you must know that you are not the only person who feels like that. Many people suffer from a real biological fear when speaking in front of other people. Um, this may surprise you, but it isn't a good idea to be completely free of fear when giving a talk or a presentation, because feeling a little bit nervous can help you to communicate better. It can provide just enough adrenaline, enough energy to wake us up and keep us on our toes. So just be thinking about that. It's a good idea to feel a little bit stressed, a little bit nervous, not too much. It can let us connect with your audience. They can feel what you feel, and in a more open way, it can help you to connect, as I said before. Then, feeling a bit nervous can help you to feel better and to connect with the people. Don't stress too much, please. There are a lot of reasons why speaking in public makes us stress or anxious. We're afraid that our audience won't like us or they will disagree with us. And we think that they might criticize us or find us boring. They might even think, walk out of the classroom. Some of us have felt painful because of a situation in the past, because painful memories, probably in the school. Perhaps a teacher made us feel embarrassed in front of the class. Or some of us may remember more recent experiences when things went wrong in front of other people. Then understanding why we are afraid is important. It can help us to accept our fear and deal with it. So it is important to think about your fear, but also it is important to overcome the situation. Then, for giving a good presentation, it's important to think about your presentation, to connect with the audience, and to practice before the presentation. Giving a presentation requires practice. Even great orators, great like Steve Jobs or Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther King, became excellent public speakers through years of dedication. So remember that practice makes perfect. The first thing that you have to do when you are going to give a presentation is to think about the details in advance. Think about things like your objective of the presentation. Think about the location of the presentation, if it is in a school or it is in another place. You have to think about the location, the equipment, the materials, the timing, and also think about your appearance, your outfit. Then, as I said before, do your homework. Effective preparation requires consideration of the following things: your goal, that means your objective, the structure of your presentation, and also you need to be prepared for questions. When you give a presentation, the first thing that you do is to introduce yourself. Introduce yourself and introduce yourself of the team. It's important to introduce yourself, give your name, your full name, your position, school or the company that you represent, and state the topic. Give a brief introduction of the topic. Don't forget to state the topic after your presentation. Also, it is important to provide an outline of the agenda for your presentation. People want to know why they are there. Why should they listen to you? So then you need to explain what is the topic, what is going to be about it, and how it might help them. The opening part is very important. It should be cheerful, interesting, and catchy. Also, it is important to connect every part of your presentation. Make a clear transition in between the parts of the presentation. And there are some useful phrases that you can use. For example, I like to move on to another part of the presentation. Or now I'd like to talk about, or when you're going to give an example, for instance, you can imagine the situation, or in addition, you have another example, or moreover, in Mexico we use this. It leads me to think about, it leads me to the next point. Also, it is important to create expectation in your audience. If you are not excited by your presentation, your audience will not be excited either. So you must choose a topic that you really like, that you are really convinced of the topic, and that you are interested in. Uh, when presenting, you should plan to wow your audience. Use, you can use adjectives to describe the things or describe the words that they will help to catch the audience attention and make your speech more vivid and memorable. Another thing that you can use is to use graphs or charts. Use visuals. Remember that people are usually visuals, so they can help you a lot. Make your data meaningful by using visuals. And you can use, for example, this graph. And remember that there are different graphs to help you to identify different data. For example, this one is to describe different proportions of the data. Uh, if you need to present numbers or some comparative analysis of algorithm for integration, you use visuals to present it. You can use charts, graphs, or diagrams to make your data meaningful and visually attractive. Remember that pie charts like this, pie charts are good for representing proportions. Line charts are the others. Line charts to represent trends. And line charts, and column and bar charts for ranking, the first, the second, and so on. So you must use visuals to represent your information. And finally, you need to summarize all of the information. You have to give a conclusion about your presentation. Finish your presentation with a brief description of your main points in your presentation, and draw the most important information, the most relevant information that you have given, and finally say thank you to the audience. And be prepared for questions and comments at the end. So, summarizing. At the end of the presentation, briefly summarize the main points and ideas. Provide the audience with your opinion and give them a call to action. Let them know what you want them to do with the information you have shared, and end the presentation by thanking all the listeners and inviting them to the question and answer section. Also remember that practice makes perfect. And then, do you have any questions until now? If you want to find out more information about this, you can use these references.